admit that they imploded it.
All right, there you go. And these people that I was talking to actually seen it, what you're saying right there, and got them thinking because they know that size of building, to bring it down, it had to be done quite a bit in advance. It couldn't have been done just that day.
Not to mention that the only
It's
thing
not
that
a 24-hour job.
The only thing that can create rivers of molten metal that were pictured during the World Trade Center events, all three of them, there was rivers of molten metal for days. The only thing that can do that is thermite, a thermitic reaction. You know, airplanes and jet fuel do not create thermitic reactions.
No.
You know, it's apples and oranges to what they argue. It's
well, I mean, all that too. They wouldn't even take in consideration none of the police or fireman reports when they talk about they seen molten lava running down the beam.
Oh, they got the word. They got the word. They're like, this building is about to come down. They got the word.
Or the 70-ton piece of I-beam structure that was part of the outside skeletal system of the World Trade Center that was thrown like 170 yards.
Yeah.
170 yards away from the building into another building. You know, there's no fucking way in hell the building collapsing at free fall speed is going to throw that girder.
Actually, I just seen an interview of some of the firefighters.
Not the projectile.
On 27th floor, and when it explosion went off, and when they said they come back down to the lobby, they said this 3-inch glass, all that down in the bottom was blowed out, and that guy even said it right then. He said, "There's no way in hell this could have happened like this."
Yep.
This explosion down below us, why, you know, all this shit was going up ahead.
Or the fact that there was, 12 or 16 Israelis that were arrested that were filming it. There was some that were arrested crossing the Brooklyn Bridge with actual explosives in the van.
Right.
They were all deported.
Absolutely. Well, I think we kept them in jail for 3 weeks. Is that not right?
I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I know they were deported.
They had a fake ass fucking moving company. That's their cover. The cover was a fake ass out of New York, fake ass moving company.
You and G are up there in the fucking north. What is the general consensus about 9/11 up there? Do people believe it was an inside job? Do people believe the official story?
Dude, they don't even care anymore. They don't even care.
It's about 50-50 notes.
50-50. Yeah.
Yep. It's a shame. But it's about 50-50 here.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably what it is here too.
I'm about
50% are confused about it and think something happened, and then the other 50% are like, you know, official story, yada yada yada.
Well,
you're crazy.
Here in my area,
a lot of people just believe what they believe what they read. You know, perception is key. It's.
Well, there's so many people here in my area, G. Seriously, that does not have the internet. I mean, they have no clue of none of this shit. Like I said,
repeat what you said, brother.
I said there's so many people here where I live.
Yeah.
Don't have internet. So I mean, they have no idea to be able to see none of this other stuff. And when I come to their house, you know, I get on somebody else's
right,
and bringing stuff up and show it to them, and they can't believe it. I mean, they're like, damn.
The best documentary about 9/11 that I've come across is Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. They've done a few documentaries that 100% prove that it's a false story at the very least. There's other shit going on. Those buildings were brought down with explosives or some type of energy weapons.
Yeah, one in like 3,500 dates.
You don't need no energy weapons. All you need is some drywallers to go up in there and put some explosive in the drywall, be like, scattered around, and boom. They don't know what the fuck's going on.
The reason I give the energy weapons some lenience towards is because of the fact that there was, like I said, 70-ton girders. Do you guys have any idea what 70 tons is? That's more than a semi-truck. Most semi-trucks on the highway are around 64,000 pounds.
Yeah. Now, I come from the coal field. You know, I've been around all that stuff like that. Yeah, I do understand that.
Yeah.
70 tons is what? Maybe 10 tractor trailers loaded or some shit? I don't even know. It's a lot.
You guys are talking about, like, driving. These guys are up in a fucking building.
I'm talking about the weight.
Mario, we're comparing the weight, brother. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen to what we're saying, brother. I know you're fading.
These guys are up in a building. They're up in a skyscraper. They're fucking.
Now picture a 70-ton piece of that building, 70 tons, which it would probably be about 4 or 5 fully loaded tractor trailers being thrown 170 yards or whatever it was. Now, what the fuck can you? I'm sorry, but not even cutter charges are going to do that. If you cut the beams with thermite on the building, even that's not going to throw 100, that type of weight that far. The math ain't there, the physics ain't there. The characteristics of thermite isn't there. It's not explosive. It's reactionary.
What's your name, bro?
I'm Quasar.
Quasar? Okay. By any chance, did you happen to see the documentary that Dr. Judy Wood put out?
I'm not sure. What's the name of it?
Dr. Judy Wood. Where did the buildings go? I think.
Oh, I think I've either watched part of excerpts from it or from some video she did. But she doesn't believe in the plane theory, right? She don't believe there's planes.
I don't think so. Maybe when you said the energy thing.
Yeah.
He brings up some very good points about the vehicles, how far the vehicles was away, what happened to them. And that's a good documentary for everybody.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
He brings up some stuff there that's unfucking real.
I mean, at the very least, our government was complicit, or they were more than that. They were accomplices. Some of them had to be. Not the stock market trades, the high frequency trades that happened the day, but the actual morning of 9/11.
Absolutely.
It proves it right there. The fact that people like Larry Silverstein got billions in money for that. He only had that building a year. He owned that building a year, and that shit happened.
Right.
A lot of people don't know those buildings were full of asbestos. It was going to cost them a shit ton of money to fix those buildings. Not to mention the lawsuits that people were going to file against them.
Right. So actually, and only that, a lot of people don't know this. On the day that happened, we was actually doing a training exercise away on exactly what happened.
Planning for buildings being hit by planes.
Exactly. And a lot of people
that was actually the training exercise, if you guys don't know.
Absolutely.
What was it? What did you say, Nose?
They were actually training. Their training exercise was training for planes hitting buildings.
Oh, yeah.
On the exact day that 9/11 happened.
That's why you got the guy that testified to Congress, one of the guys that was in the control room next to the vice president, who said, well, does the order still stand? And he said, you damn right the order still stands. Did you hear otherwise?
Yeah.
Dick Cheney, because that's I mean, this was all pre-planned. I mean, you got to be
the other guy was at the school. And the president was at the school.
The president, exactly. The president of the United States is reading books that are upside down to school children. Why his daddy's in the White House, sitting in the fucking Oval Office. Now ask yourself, he wasn't even the sitting president. Why is he in the fucking White House? Because he's Mr. George Daddy Bush Sr., and he's a bad motherfucker. He's been running shit for 50 years. Dude, but George Bush Sr.'s had his hand in just about everything.
Yeah.
Some things that make you say,
And not only that, who was it? Which one was it come out the day before and declared something like war on something?
Donald Rumsfeld came out the day before 9/11 and said there was $7 billion, around $7 or $6 billion missing from the Pentagon Treasury, just gone. No accounted for it. They were odd in fact about it. And then the very next day, the plane that hit the Pentagon, where it hit the Pentagon, was actually the same area of the Pentagon where the money was stolen from.
Absolutely. Hey, since you said that, that reminds me. Now, don't take me to my word on this, but this is something I'm pretty sure of. 3 things that they had in common. The first building that was hit, they was doing a audit, and the Pentagon was doing an audit, and the plane that went down in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken, most of all them was from the Pentagon. If I'm badly mistaken.
I don't doubt that. That's probably true because I've heard a lot of things that the evidence that was investigating the people that were at fault for all that shit was actually located in the World Trade Center buildings.
Well, now here's another thing.
And what about the fucking was it 60 or 50 tons of gold that went missing from underneath Building 7?
Okay.
Not anybody knows about that.
What about the part where on that one floor where the head boss or CEO or whatever called in and told all the employees not to come in on that one certain floor?
Yep. Exactly.
Like I say, there's too much stuff right there for it to not to be an inside job.
Yeah, there's just too many facts that have come out, too many coincidences, too many bullshit fucking analysis by so-called government officials that I don't even know what to say about it, honestly. At this point, there's so much evidence out there about it. I don't even talk about it anymore, really, because it's so provable. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
People don't want to read. People don't want to do the research. It's right there in front of them.
They're addicted to their Skinner box, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Predictive programming.
The propaganda media. I've had my TV unhooked going on now for 4 years. I don't watch TV. I haven't watched it for 4 years.
I watch TV, but it's hooked to my computer and online, and I don't have a cable TV hooked to it. You know what I mean? So I use it for like a second monitor. That's the extent of my TV. I download torrents. I watch movies for free and shit.
Yeah, I do too.
Just because I don't like Hollywood.
Right. I go to MovieTube. I watch everything.
Yeah, exactly. If there's a good movie coming out, I'll go see it in 3D at the OmniMax or something. I'll spend the $18 or whatever.
Yeah, it's funny you think about it. Even if you tell the people everything that we just said, they're still not going to believe us. They won't believe you.
No.
Even if you tell them, they won't because they're programmed.
Yeah. Well, here you go.
They're programmed anymore.
Listen, I think you'll love this one. I was just listening to DJ. He had a chat going there just a second ago.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and one of the people he had on there said he did not believe in chemtrails in any way, shape, form, or how.
Oh, I gotta check that out later.
Yeah, and which they got into a big argument. I think DJ shut it down on everybody. I was trying to get into them. How many of you guys ever heard of Operation Popeye? And if you have you looked into it and checked it out?
What was it called?
Operation Popeye.
Type it in the external. I can't.
Yeah, type it in the internal.
Okay. Well, I'll find it right here. I just had it here just a minute ago, and I'll just share it on.
I got it. Yeah, it's open. And by the internals open, just put it in there.
People believe without a shadow of a doubt what they see on TV is the written truth, and that's all they're going to believe.
Yep. You're exactly right.
Unfortunately, a trait of human behavior is to parrot things they see. So when it comes to intellectual information, most people want to take a shortcut, and they don't want to check the facts for themselves, and they just parrot the 3-minute news clip from the pretty blonde on TV instead of actually looking up what she's saying and checking her facts.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. All this shit, they're using human behavior against us. They studied us for 50, 60 years, or whatever it was, 100 years, human behavior specifically, then learned how to alter it through chemicals, propaganda, brainwashing techniques, you fucking name it. They've been able to mold and twist our society to steer us down a path to achieve the goals that they're shooting for right now that we can all see in front of our fucking faces.
Yep.
Excuse my mini rant.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
Right there's a short video of it. Check it out right there, man. But that shit's real, and there's the whole PDF files and stuff on it if you want to look at it, and the military will actually back up that they were doing it.
Oh yeah, I know about this, and I didn't realize that was what it was called. But there is all kinds of shit that has come out here in the last 6 months about the weather warfare that was going on in Vietnam,
Yeah.
specifically
Actually,
Vietnam.
a woman shared a video with me last year uh, when he was doing these exercises out in the ocean before he actually done this in Vietnam. And you have to see it. They were taking flying planes over, and you have to just see how his shit was. I mean, it was wild as hell. And I
Pe-
cannot find that video.
People think all they were doing was spraying Agent Orange or just trying to
No,
poison the. No, they were actually doing cloud seeding and creating
absolutely.
storms and shit. And there's actually a case where they flooded the Ho Chi Minh Trail for like 3 weeks. They
Yeah.
kept rain coming down for like 3 weeks.
Okay, imagine if they could do that shit then, what can they do now?
Oh yeah.
You know they're way ahead of the game now on what he was.
I got, what is it? 6 words? High atmospheric
You know
array.
that's you
What
know
is it?
that's what happened on the Sante raid in Vietnam. Is that the CIA and the U.S. Army weren't working together and weren't swapping intelligence. And on the day of the Sante raid, they had been doing what you're talking about, cloud seed, making it rain on the Ho Chi Minh, and it messed up all their aerial. They couldn't get any aerial
Photos.
reconnaissance photos to see if the POW camp was empty or not. So it was kindly a flop, because they couldn't get any intelligence. Their high altitude recon, it was so cloudy, but yet the CIA didn't tell them they were cloud seeding to make it cloudy.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe every bit of that. Absolutely.
Well, I think from my research, I think I've come across weather weapon treaties going back 150 years, which
Yep.
is really weird.
Yep.
Everyone wants to say that it was Nikola Tesla that came up with that shit, but he wasn't around 150 years ago. So
No.
who was doing that shit?
Right. You know, I hear a lot of crazy stories, and they do sound crazy. But if you get checking in them, they're not as crazy as they sound once you get really doing the research on them. Like Operation Bypass, for example.
Well, people are lazy.
How about Operation Northwoods? People don't want to believe that we have a class of people in this country, even
Yeah.
back in the 50s, that are willing to set off nuclear weapons to achieve a political aim or goal.
Yeah.
That or cause a 9/11 event. You got Project for a New American Century, the report that was put out, where a whole year before they even had 9/11, they talked about they needed a Pearl Harbor catalyzing event.
Exactly.
This is
We need a new Pearl Harbor, is what he said, wasn't it?
yes, along them lines to
Yeah.
rally the people behind them.
Yeah. That was when we was getting ready to go into Iraq, wasn't it?
It
Or
was
Afghanistan.
no, this was before all this shit. This was in 1999. It was published, I believe. It's
Okay.
called Project for a New American Century, put out by the CFR, Halliburton, Rumsfeld, a bunch of neoconservatives, neocons,
Right.
and they laid it out to where how America was going to have invade 7 countries within a
Right.
certain amount of time,
Yeah.
and Iran, Syria, Egypt, Venezuela. They haven't
Well,
got all of them on that list, but they've gotten a lot of them, and
I
they
think
didn't do
right
it in the
now,
time scale that they wanted either.
at the only two countries that we haven't invaded that was on that, what you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, Iran is one of them.
Yep, and look how hard they push that every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. They push it every day almost. A lot of people.
And they're about to conquer Syria. There's another one off their list.
Well, too, Yemen over there, man. I've seen some shit on it. They're blowing that place off the map.
Yeah, it's probably already gone. Yeah, they've already conquered Yemen. You could already call Yemen gone.
Wesley Clark, he kindly dropped the ball for him on that one, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Spilling the beans about the 7 countries in 7 years.
Yep.
I don't think they like him a whole lot anymore.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what the elite don't like that are doing all this.
Yeah.
They've been bragging, writing books, publishing this stuff on YouTube, you know, because they figured only amongst themselves would look at it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of screwed them because people caught on to it, that they were publishing those things and talking about those things. That's why I can firmly, with confidence, state that the people that run this world, the 0.1% of the 5% that have all the wealth, admittedly, by even the mainstream in this fucking world, want to get rid of us. Period. That is the end goal of all the war, all the distraction, all the divide and conquer. They want to eliminate 6.8 billion people on the planet and bring those numbers down to manageable numbers.
Yep, no doubt. So they can program the new motherfuckers that get here. They want the smart ones out, and they want to reprogram the new.
Yeah.
The motherfucker, the motherfucker already said they were fucking overpopulated.
They
The
wanna
most
go
dangerous
by-
man to any government is the man who is able to think things out for himself. Almost inevitably, he comes to the conclusion that the government he lives under is dishonest, insane, and intolerable. H.I. Mencken. Yeah.
They want to go by their guidestones. What is it?
The Georgia
500?
Guidestones.
Yeah, that's what they want to go by. That's their textbook, more or less, ain't it?
It's just no one even knows who actually built those. They've just been attributed to, like, you know, untraceable foundations, and yeah, I mean, that's obviously their ethos.
Yeah. And people don't want to believe that shit. I believe it. I believe it. Everything in there.
Well, that's the thing.
People today, Peanut, don't even know that there's a war going on.
Oh, I know.
They don't know that the war's going on, bro.
That's what I'm saying. You hear where I'm at? Hear where I'm at, G? I mean, seriously. I mean, you want to talk about hillbillies? I mean, Kentucky. I'm right here in the backyard of the Hatfield McCoys.
I know.
Down there in the Appalachians.
Yeah, and these people don't even have a clue about none of this shit, man.
Nope.
I tell you what though, when those people do, the government's scared of them.
Oh,
Besides
absolutely.
down there in Texas, I'm in Missouri over here, so we got the Ozarks. It leads down in the Appalachians. We'll be crawling through these hills and mountains looking for guys like us if this happens, because they know we'll be down there.
Now, don't get me wrong, not everybody. Now, I've met several people. I can tell you this for a fact. I know one guy in particular that owns quite a bit of property in a hollow where an old mines used to be. And he's got that mine, he's back underground and got a bunch of stuff in it. And I mean, I know exactly where it's at. If anything goes happens here, that's where I'm headed to.
Thanks, brother JJ. I'm gonna check out JJ.
Jay Watt?
Okay, 6-man-1. No, brother JJ put out a video.
Oh.
Everybody go check out JJ McKay, 6-man-1. He put out a video. County Sheriff Department steals $55,000.
Can you share it?
Yeah, I saw that. That's not a good thing going on there. I saw that.
Hey, Jay. Can you share it?
Yep, I'm gonna share it right now.
Yeah. I like to see that.
Actually, I want to screen share it real quick. Hold on.
All right.
Thanks, brother JJ. I sent you a link here. Let me get JJ. Let me try to get Jay in here.
Oh, yeah.
I know JJ's been up.
Thanks
JJ's
for
been
that.
up. Yes, sir, brother. Anytime. Brother Jimmy, if you're out there, I sent you a link. M&P 10 round. I sent you guys links. Brother Smith.
You know, that's one of the things I look at. That's going to happen next. What y'all's opinion about this? If the government's going to do what they can to shut this internet down, they don't want us to communicate like we are.
Well, did you see Senator David Rockefeller? Isn't he a David Rockefeller? It's one of the the Rockefeller that's in the Senate right now. You know, that cocksucker came out 2 years ago or so, and right there in front of Congress and goes, "We should have never allowed the internet to get out." Period. A direct quote. We should have never allowed the internet to get out. It got too big.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, you can Google it or YouTube it. You'll find it on YouTube. Rockefeller says stop the internet, or they shouldn't let the internet get out. And then you got people like their philosopher, like Zbigniew Brzezinski. That's the thing. If you want to know what's coming, study the people that these people study, like Zbigniew Brzezinski. You know, he stated that. He stated, was it last year or 2 years ago, that they're losing the information war for the first time in history. For the first time in history, the people are politically awake and aware and looking back at them. And then he started going in on how they can steer that away from their attention, which is always going to be war.
Yeah.
Well, it may have been Rockefeller that got up there and said that they were giving away too much free information on the internet. Yeah. It's all about money. They want that money. You're not allowed to have it without making them rich.
Right.
You know how many businesses have fallen because of the internet? Go ahead, Razor. You're all right, sorry.
No, I was just going to say he also got on there not a couple years ago and ranted about how the internet was. They shouldn't have let it out, basically. I'll see if I can find the clip.
Look at the car business. The internet has destroyed the car business.
It's destroyed a lot of businesses.
Among millions of other. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Internet's bad news, brother.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
That's why they just claimed the keys to it where they could click it off.
I mean, look at the head of Facebook went over a couple months ago and met with the head of the Chinese Censorship Bureau. The Chinese Internet Censorship, why would anybody think that? It's because they're getting ready to bring that here, Chinese style censorship. But they know when they do, people like us are going to get pissed and get out in the streets, and they don't know how to control that yet. Just like they know if they invade the Bundy Ranch or the Sugar Pine Mine, that people are going to go apeshit and probably head up there.
I've already seen people throwing up since they started all this. People are throwing up blueprints and diagrams and stuff like that on their Facebook pages that I'm sure some of that stuff you're not supposed to, publicly print it, but they're putting it up there anyway. And every time I do it, I try to
welcome, brother JJ.
Snatch it
welcome,
up.
Brother Jimmy.
Hey, JJ.
Hello, everybody.
JJ, I told everybody about the link. If you don't mind covering a little bit what you know, brother. I already put
I just encourage people to listen to a man say it himself, because it's a little bit of a complicated story, but it's well worth listening to. This guy's in a fight with, banks and the police, the sheriff's department, did an illegal eviction on him. And basically stole all of his possessions.
Oh, stole all of his guns and shit. Yeah, I heard. Yeah. This guy. Okay.
It's on I shared it on my channel. To anybody out there that wants to see it.
Oh, this is a big story, JJ.
Yeah, it's looking to be some kind of a standoff going on, I think, at some point.
And where is this guy located, Jay?
Isabella County, Michigan. It's in the about central lower Michigan.
Wow.
Not changed the subject or anything, but have you guys seen what they've been doing to Randy Quaid and his wife?
Yeah, he's been going through some crap for a while with that. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, courts are corrupt, the cops are corrupt. I mean, lawyers are all working with them, so you can't even get any fucking justice anymore. You can't get your due process at all. But I encourage people to check that story out, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
I watched that first video. It's like a half hour long. That was before, that was talking about them stealing his property. But now they're trying to do, I think, an illegal foreclosure on it. There's the actual other property or something right now. So.
Well, that's the thing too. Illegal foreclosure. You mentioned that's all these the home subprime mortgage crisis and all that shit is illegal foreclosure.
Yeah, I think it's one of those MERS mortgages too. If you heard about those.
Those are all illegal mortgages. If nobody doesn't know, it's contract fraud. My parents were caught up in this shit as well. It's all contract fraud. You can actually And try this. I encourage anybody that's caught up in a mortgage that thinks that they're being victim of predatory lending to actually, when you're talking to the bank, not only record each conversation, but ask them, who owns my deed? Where is my deed at? Who has possession of the deed of this house? And make sure you fucking stick to that. Because if they can't prove that they have possession of the deed of the house that you live in and supposedly bought through them, it's an illegal, fraudulent contract, and it's your home, basically. They committed contract fraud, and it's your fucking home.
There's a lot of people who took them to court and beat them and won their home.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a guy who actually wrote a book on all this shit and how to actually, beat it. Well, that was before the courts are all freaking corrupt.
And the reason that we know that they don't have the deeds is because they took those deeds, chopped them up into 1,000 pieces, and sold them to 1,000 different banks all over the goddamn world.
Yeah.
That's fraud. Period. And most people don't understand that. So if you can point out to the bank that you're with that who has the deed, and not all mortgages are like this, but
I'm gonna see if I can help this guy out. I mean, he seems like he's got a pretty legit story, but I'm gonna do more research on it. But
sure.
Hey, G, Smurf wants a link.
Oh, no doubt.
If there's any way I can get down there and help him out, I'll do it. I don't have
right up, Smurf.
transportation, but.
Yeah, I sent Smurf invites and I sent him a link. I don't know if he got it. I'm gonna do it again.
Tell him check his G Plus. It's probably
check your G Plus, Smurf. That's where I send all your links in. I'll do it again right now, but check your G Plus. It's coming at you right now.
Yeah, you're right, Craig. If the person knows what they're doing, they can take them to court and beat them.
Yep.
Yeah, but not if the cops and the fucking judge and the lawyers are all working together. I mean,
when you get your court date, all you got to do is go there and ask the judge. Tell the judge to tell them to show you the note. That's all you got to do. If they show up
like to your car,
try to take your fucking house, and if they not standing in that courtroom with a copy, the deed, not even a copy, they have to have the deed on them as their paperwork. Then it's fraud. Period. You can call them on it.
Well, that's the thing. Even the judge in the court,
right?
And he was even suing this judge because of the criminality the judge was doing to him. And fucking the judge had already wrote up the fucking decision before anybody even entered the court. He had it on his fucking desk there, fucking.
I'll let this out there to you guys. My family went through all this shit. They took my parents home, but not after. And the only reason they got the home is because he didn't have $10,000 for a trial lawyer.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there was a lawyer that would take his fucking case, but he wanted $25,000 a month.
Yeah, well, yeah.
$750,000. They told him to even fight the whole case of the $55,000 of property.
But I'll point out that just because that my father called them on the fact that they were committing fraud and didn't have the deed in possession. They lived in that house for another 2 years, mortgage-free, until the bank actually come to them and offered them $3,000 just to move out and not sue them. So my father finally got sick of it and walked away. But that just shows you that if you call them out on it, they don't know what to do. Their ass puckers up, and you can fight them.
Oh, when you end up fighting the judge who's deciding your case in your fucking area, and the Supreme Court's fucking corrupt in your state.
Yeah, you're not fighting that.
What the fuck can you do? You have no recourse for anything.
My father actually got a settlement from the state of Missouri. You guys want to know what it was? For the fraud, the mortgage fraud.
Absolutely.
It was $1,200 fucking bucks.
What?
That's a class action lawsuit. That's all he got. $1,200 fucking dollars. Because he was proven fraud. They proven fraud.
What's up, brother Smurf?
Hey, Smurf.
Well, not to mention the $6 billion fucking dollar, or $60 billion, or $600 billion the banks got caught laundering 5 years ago. That was all drug cartel money. Nobody went to jail. Nobody was punished.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard of this guy's story tonight, and HTP, I saw posted it and I checked it out, and it's like, holy shit, man, this right, it's in my state, trying to check into this guy's story more, and if I can help the guy out, I will, you know.
Yeah.
What's up, JQHS? What's going on, brother? 01LS, what's going on?
Oh, one's trolling the shit out of Smurf. Pretty funny.
That's always the case, baby. Let's see, we got 420. What's up, brother? 420. Let's see.
So even if you clear the lien on your property, do you actually own it? I mean, do you actually get quote title to it? You know, your property is basically still owned by the state, and so unless you can remove it from the jurisdiction of the state, you're just still fucking leasing it. You know, until you stop paying property taxes, then they take it. You know.
Well, yeah. Even if you pay your home off, you know how many times the banks have gone into people that supposedly paid their home off, and then 10 years, 5 years later, they come and take it, repossess it. It's because they can do that because they don't have possession of the deed, so another bank comes in and just takes what they think, you know, is theirs.
So, yeah, that's important that if you paid the loan off to make sure that you go to the recorder's office and you get it cleared, that there's no lien on your property.
Well,
and if you go to the next step and actually get your land patent and declare that it's no longer in the jurisdiction of the United States and you don't want to pay property taxes, that would be pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, if you don't have a deed in your possession that actually, I forget the exact terminology, but it says on the top of the deed, like, and there's different types. People don't know this, that I can't remember because it's been a few years since I've gotten into all this shit. But there's a certain terminology that you want to have on your paper, your deed.
Right. Exactly.
Otherwise, the bank owns it, and they don't really own it either. It's just a derivative, and so basically, you have a piece of paper that has an address on it. I mean, it's not really the deed.
Yeah, you're right. I've seen some stuff on that. You're right. It's something to do with the heading, something across it about.
Yeah, I mean, it's all wording. They use words as a weapon against us, and they've always done that. And
kind of like the straw man. How they done that?
Yeah, you're not the straw man. You're the agent for the straw man.
Right. Hey, I want you guys to know this. I really enjoy getting in these chats like this right here because I learn a lot of stuff, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, Smurf and JJ. Everybody had a good chat. Everyone who's watching, go check out Smurf Killer 223. Good chat last night. If you missed it.
Don't sub me. My channel sucks. The title of the video speaks for itself. I don't know what's going on. Don't watch.
Oh, shit.
We enjoyed that chat video. I watched most of it today, so that was good.
Oh, yeah, dude. Fucking JJ and Smurf had killer chats back in the day, dude.
What time you guys are doing that in the middle of the night, so you guys are doing okay.
It's just when it usually happens to be Smurf decided he wanted to do a chat. I didn't even know it at the time, and all of a sudden, one told me he was doing a chat, and I'm like, well, does he want company or does he want to fly solo?
Did one get in there last night? We were just on the outside.
Smurf, Don, and Lewis, I believe, came in.
Yep.
Cool.
No, I figured what I was going to do is if nobody showed up by the end of the chat, I'd be arguing with myself. I figured that would be funny enough, you know.
You know, you got to give yourself your devil's advocate, so yeah, you got to.
Smurf, drop some bombs for me because I missed like the first half. I didn't catch the second half, but.
So what was you going to do, Smurf? Debate yourself?
Yeah.
That would be an ugly picture. You know?
I was gonna change camera views. I was gonna use my icon and then switch to the camera view.
Oh my God. That would have been so.
That would be good when I'm watching that.
Oh, I would watch it.
Well, I'm glad to hear the statistics state that hopefully the military wouldn't support confiscation of Americans' firearms, but that's a whole different story. Yeah, the whole story with the you get blue hats, you know, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I honestly believe, man, we need to be looking at all angles because right now they're in a position where they have a lot of different angles that they can throw at us, man. And we got to be looking for that left field play. We really do.
I hear a lot of people equate it to chess, and it is like a chess game. But the thing is, this is three-dimensional chess. This is three chessboards stacked on top of each other. And if anybody's ever played that shit, it's extremely hard.
Yep. You're exactly right, Lance.
That's one of the things, though, I think we need to watch for, man, is the different angles. I'm not saying change anybody's views. I'm not saying drop your guard or anything like that. I'm just saying be ready to be able to accept new information, because as the paradigm shifts, and this always happens when they do something. 9/11 shifted the paradigm. Oklahoma City shifted the paradigm. Waco shifted the paradigm. And we need to be ready for this shift, because this shift is going to be something different.
Absolutely.
If they go for the World War angle, man, it changes a lot of things really, really fast. So.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't subscribe to this also, but I kind of do. I mean, to be honest with you, is that I feel that there's going to be a Night of the Long Knives event in this country, and they're not really going to come for guys like us yet. It'll be the intellectuals. You'll see the Alex Joneses and the Peter Schiffs and you name it, be all of a sudden disappear. They might not put them in jail quite yet, but they'll be shut off the air first. And you'll know that that's the start of the persecution of any type of dissenting information against their agenda.
Well, even and I'm one of the ones that doesn't prescribe to that, but I'll tell you this, man, because you say it, the simple reality is we're discussing all options. That's the important thing. We at least have to have heard all the different angles, because what if Quasar's right? What if they think they can pull this off on two fronts?
Well, the only reason I do say that is just looking at history. This has gone on in every other country. Before the elite pull their power strings, that's what happens. They get rid of anybody that can oppose or offer a different opinion or a different view that's actually valid and truthful.
Yeah.
Truth is the enemy of the state. Goebbels.
That's very true. But my argument for it is pretty simple, man. Look at how we're ridiculed now. They're going to be able to dismiss a lot of these people when something happens. And I know a lot of the voices that are out there speaking now are going to jump on the patriotism bandwagon when we got foreign troops here. That's what's going to happen. I honestly believe that. Does that mean there's not going to be people grabbed in the middle of the night? Oh, I'm sure there will be. There was in World War II.
Absolutely.
So, I just don't think it's going to be such a widespread event that they're going to risk a civil war and war at the same time. But there's also the other side of this. There are two factions in this government, and they want two different things. One wants a civil war, and the other one wants world war, and I think we all know who those people are. So we got to understand that, man. And they're both in a position where they can reach for that brass ring. It could be that they get that world war started, and then they spark a damn civil war in this country. That could happen. So Quasar's scenario could be absolutely true, and there's evidence to back up what he's saying. Just like there's evidence to back up my side of it. That's the thing about it. We have to be willing to see every side, every possible scenario, because we got to be ready for that left field play, man.
That's why we were talking about tornadoes and shit, I think in the off-air chats and stuff. That's why I mentioned that if you think a tornado's coming in your area, you don't go in and hide in the basement. You go outside to see what directions it's come. Because a direct hit from a tornado, you don't want to be even in the basement. The same thing's going on with this shit. It's going to take us discussing all these ideas and laying them out so we can have fair warning and an educated guess on how to react.
Yep.
And that's the biggest part of it right there. The ability to react effectively.
You got to know your battle space.
Mm-hmm.
I think also too, you got to keep a very open mind on all this shit. Like you said, there's so many different factors can come into this that can come through on it.
Yeah. Yep. Me and JJ and Smurf and a few others have talked about this a lot, that there's only really, at this point in history, maybe 5 or 6 scenarios that are probably have the most statistical advantage for happening, I guess you would say. And one of them is World War. Like, we hear that a lot. The other one is revolution or civil war, and then you got just full out economic, social crisis where everybody just stops doing everything and then fights it out. Total anarchy, basically. And then probably one or two other variables that we just can't fucking think of.
Well, you got to think famine.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the ability. I don't know how everybody feels on this thing, but I'll tell you, a couple of years ago, I was watching a Doppler radar on the Weather Channel, and I'll tell you right now, I watched them steer a storm. I watched them do it live. They turned those things on and drew the storm to them and pushed them away, and they did it live, man. If you watched the Weather Channel that night, you saw that shit. And everybody says, oh, it's the harp-tard rings. They're fiction. Bullshit. I watched it. I watched them bring a storm up, and I watched them hold it in place. And that's exactly what they did. They held it in place. And we had massive flooding through North Dakota and South Dakota because of it.
Yeah, you bring up a good... Go ahead, Smurf.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, you bring up a good point that if you guys actually do a Google search or YouTube search for local weather station notices weird anomalies and shit like that, they're literally in the last probably 2 years, there's hundreds and hundreds of cases of local weathermen seeing shit on their Doppler radars that they can't explain. And that's exactly, in my opinion, what it is. It's HARP, or it's whatever type of weather projects that they're fucking with.
See, and that's the brilliance of it, man. They do have many different angles they can come at us. I mean, I put it this way, man. Basically, where we're sitting right now is we're in checkmate 3 different ways right now. That's where we're at, man. And we don't have a rocket pack for our king to fly him out of the area. So we're going to meet whatever this is head on. They're going to be the ones who decide how this comes. Because I don't think we can do it. I don't think we can get out there tomorrow and have 1 million people show up in Washington D.C. and say, "Hey, we've had enough. Knock this shit off."
I don't put it past them to come in with and say, to put the word out that the UN troops are moving in, just to draw people out to see who they can draw out. I wouldn't put that past them.
Be ready for any of that kind of stuff, man. I've talked about that before. I think I've talked to you about it before, Saints.
I mean,
well, not just that, but every UN treaty, everything that they've passed, they implement. UN Small Arms Treaty will be implemented here. How long it's going to take, who knows? But the fact of the matter is there's people in very fucking high places that are trying to take away your right to fucking have weapons and defend yourself. Not just that, but they want to take away, through Codex Alimentarius, your right to even take vitamins. Fucking vitamins.
Any means of resistance or, yeah.
The traps that we have to navigate are many, man. That's why we need as much information as we can get. Out here in the chats a lot of times, and I'm not saying the guys on this chat, because a lot of the guys on this chat I've talked to about exactly what I'm going to talk about. We also need to keep an eye on the common law side of it. There's big things happening on the common law, and I'll tell you right now, I have seen that affect national policy. I've seen it do it. The freemen were successful. Some of the, what do they call themselves, the sovereign citizens, some of them have been successful. They beat the IRS. They beat the federal government. It's rare, but it does happen. When it happens, we need to get behind that, man. If people want to know something that you can get behind, as soon as you see it in any way, shape, or form, this thing going on in Oregon might be really good for us, this deal where they're opting out of the federal marijuana laws. Okay? That is under the Uniform Commercial Code. That is how the federal government claims authority to regulate marijuana and drugs, is through the Uniform Commercial Code, because they cross state lines. The Uniform Commercial Code is how they regulate guns. It's how they tax you. Everything they do is under the Uniform Commercial Code.
And the Interstate Commerce Clause.
That's right, but that's all written because of the interstate commerce. That's where the UCC comes from.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need.
That's what gave them the authority and the power.
That will put them right back on their heels.
Mm-hmm.
It all boils down to jurisdiction. You know, I mean, if you're playing inside their jurisdiction, then you got to play by their rules. So try to operate outside their jurisdiction if possible.
Yep. And that's one of the things about the gun law that passed here in Montana. We passed a law here in Montana. Now I don't know if our state attorney will hold up to it, but it's still law here. If you can buy a machine gun that's completely made in Montana, it is not against Montana law to own one. Problem is, ATF thinks they have authority, and we got a Democrat right now in the Attorney General's office, or State Attorney General's office, who may not back you up on that. So these things are happening, man. States are saying, fuck you. Oregon with this marijuana thing is saying, fuck you.
Well, look what the state of New York just did.
Hold on, real quick. They say fuck you, but even though it's law, it's fucking in the rules. What could happen? I mean,
well, I'll point out what happened in New York, G. Like I was just going to bring up, man. They passed a ban on fucking so-called assault weapons. Everybody had to register them if you want to own them. Right. 23,000 out of the 1.2 million estimated owners registered. 23,000. Yeah. That's non-compliance. Actually, just through that act, it nullified the law. It nullified the law.
No shit.
Just like what happened in Connecticut.
Yes, thank you, Notes. Yep.
That's why ghost guns scare the fuck out of them, because they never, quote, enter their jurisdiction, so they can't do anything about it.
Well, what I'm getting at also is the Constitution stuck it right in there, and we just got to choose to exercise it. It says that anything that abridges the Constitution is null and void upon passing. All this shit that is written on this paper, because that's all it is fucking paper, evil words written on tyrants on paper. That's all I look at it like. Because the Constitution and Bill of Rights is a set of ideas. We don't need the fucking paper. We know what is our God-given right, and not granted to us by some tyrant with a pen. He can't take my rights away. Period. I don't give a fuck how much he gets on TV and announces he can. He can suck a cock, and I don't care who that is.
Unfortunately, they have a stormtrooper squad who enforces their fucking illegal edicts.
Right.
Well, remember what happened a little while ago with the sheriffs. I don't know how it is in your guys' state, but when the federal government wants to come do something in my county, they have to stop by and see the sheriff. He has to give them permission.
That's how it is here in Missouri, too.
Yeah, here in this county, in Michigan, too.
Well, what you said right there, Smurf, I've actually talked to my sheriff around here and asked them, would they back the government if they tried to come in and take our guns, and they said absolutely not. Anything unconstitutional, they said they would not stand behind.
You should ask them on the flip side of that. Well, if they come in here and try to forcibly vaccinate me, will you stand up for my rights? Because that's along the same issues. You know what I'm saying? And asking them those other questions besides, because a lot of them are trained to answer those Second Amendment questions. So if you can slip them up with some of these other questions about freedom, or if they legalize marijuana, are you going to start raiding people who smoke, or stuff like that?
Well, I know your sheriff is not actually required to uphold any federal laws at all.
Right.
They're sworn to the Constitution and state law.
That's right. And they're actually not even sworn necessarily to state law, it's county.
Yeah.
You have a county sheriff.
And even the governor's got to come to him if he wants to do something to you.
That's right. The highway patrol has to ask permission here to patrol off of the highways and byways. And that covers a lot of territory here. See, there was a case that happened here a little while back. A highway patrol officer pulled over a guy and gave him a DUI on a road that was county, not state. And what happened was the case was thrown out of court because the highway patrol officer was out of his jurisdiction. See, things are happening. We are actually pushing these people back. That is why I think it's so freaking dangerous right now. That is why I think that the Civil War scenario or the World War scenario are so possible right now. Because when these guys start to lose power, they do something to get it back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, keep talking jurisdiction, and that's exactly what you're talking about. They don't like it when you know what you're talking about when it comes to jurisdiction and you enforce your rights,
And for anybody out there that thinks that there's not people out there that would that there's not a significant force out there that are against freedom, God-given rights, and the right to be left alone, I urge you to watch some of the Mark Dice videos that points out how stupid and unintelligent there is, how many people there are out there that just really really are your enemy. I mean, I hate to say it because they're fellow Americans, but when it comes
You're right
down
now.
to it, they will vote your rights away. All of them. They believe that men have the right to determine, your rights and your future. I don't.
These cocksuckers don't even respect the fucking Constitution, dude.
No.
They don't know. They don't care. They don't respect it. It's been spit on.
The
It's been
people that are doing this do
shattered.
not believe in borders. They do not believe in sovereign citizens. They hold no allegiance to a flag, which is why they don't give a shit about stirring up a bunch of people over the flags. They don't care about nationality anymore. They're way past that. They want world government. And anybody that doesn't, that's a conspiracy. I'm sorry, but you're a fucking moron. World government is real. It's not only real, it's here, and it's right in our faces. And world government equates to fascist communist rule. Period. What is it? The best? What is it? A tautocracy? A corptocracy? That's the best word that I've heard.
Yeah, corporatocracy.
It's the best. Yeah, it's the best word that I've heard to ever describe it. To actually what it is, because it's a merger of all these isms.
I think it'll go beyond that. I think actually what we're going to end up with in the end, all this stuff is going to bring us to it, but I think in the end we're going to end up with a freaking theocracy. If you don't agree with the state, you have to be eliminated because you don't think right. That's a theocracy.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they're creating all kinds of mental disorders now, fucking out of thin air for kids growing up. Oh, ADHD, that's a mental disorder. I mean,
yep.
Give me a fucking break.
But it's admitted that the drugs that they treat the ADHD kids and the ADD kids and the BD kids with are SSRI inhibitors, and actually, and even worse than that, are destroying their brains and causing those problems degeneratively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fucking killing us, man. We're under assault from every fucking angle.
Joel's got a good one out there in the chat. He calls it a fucktocracy or something. It's actually pretty good.
One said if your sheriff enforces eminent domain, he is unconstitutional.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is, O1.
Absolutely.
Let me share it with you guys.
Philo's 4R, what's going on? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ken.
The other day, I took a friend to the hospital to get some blood work, and one time I was there, I was listening to some people talking that the doctor was telling them that they was poisoned by their well water. And the funny thing was, they were sitting there telling me, we don't have wells. We got city water. And I was telling them about fluoride stuff and told them to check up on it. They couldn't believe what I was telling them. But I did get their interest because, when they said they didn't have no well water, the doctor told them they was poisoned by their well water.
Me and my family were living out on a farm a couple years ago. I kind of missed it because of the well. I missed that well water. It's nasty at first. You're not used to it. You're used to that city water, but it grows on you for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All the minerals and everything inside of it, you're not used to getting those things in your water if you live in the city your whole fucking life.
Yeah, and you get the smell of the ground too, so that kind of throws you off a little bit. Takes a little while to get used to.
You're not getting dosed up with fluoride and fucking estrogen and all the other fucking chemicals that are in your fucking water.
What's up, Philo's 4R? Said whoever is pulling a crowd, we bomb them with information rather than just tell each other stuff.
What's an Asian swing?
A swinger party? I don't know.
JQHS is asking. I hear the Asian swings are fun.
Chinese basket or something. I don't know.
One said 6.5. Fucking one's blowing it up. 6.5 Grundle AR-15 is next.
That sounds crazy. I kind of want one of them Beowulfs, one of them 50 Beowulfs ARs. That'd be a fun build.
My next build is a long range setup. Hopefully, I'm going to build the AR-15 upper that hopefully will reach out 1,000 yards.
So you go like what, 20-inch barrel?
Yep, 20-inch barrel, but it's a new cartridge that's just coming out. It's called the 6.5 Reaper, based off a 308 case. Basically the same thing, kind of as the 300 blackout principle, is a cut down case, re-necked and shouldered down, so it fits in the AR-15 platform. But they're getting like 2,850 feet per second out of 123 grain Sierra match king and 6.5.
No. What do you need to get out to 1,000 yards scope wise? A 10 power at least?
Yeah, at least 10 power.
JQHS says, he says, when we realize we are all in the same boat and know that things will get better and stay better.
Hey, JQHS, do you know we're going to be all in the same FEMA camp? See you there, buddy.
Mr. Maxman Rules, good evening, brother. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Tony, where you at, brother? I sent you about 35 links, which you don't need a link. I don't know where you're at, brother. Come on.
It's like that 200-mile constitutional zone that's around the coastline that nobody knows about. They wonder why they can get searched illegally and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Damn, I thought you got fucking lost at the fucking liquor store, you know?
The original 16A1 was rifled at 1x12 twist, which was too fast. But for the heavier bullets, a 1.
Yo.
What up, Tony?
Yeah. You know you're on, yo?
I'm who?
I said, do you know that you're on?
Oh, I thought it was muted.
No.
Oh.
You alright now?
Who?
I said, you alright?
I don't know, I've been drinking since like 3 or 4.
It's a drunk chat.
Oh, he's doing good then.
You.
What's up, Peanut? Is that Peanut? Where's he at?
Yeah, that's Peanut, yeah.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing all right. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man, I'm just doing my thing. I'm on the chats a lot lately, so.
JQ said cops take your cars and your homes through banks and tow companies. They got a big time racket going on nationwide. Shit. Hell yeah. China stock market lost over 3.1 trillion since June 12th. Wow. I knows that. One loves Donald Trump.
I like Donald.
I mean, he knows he doesn't have a chance, but I guess we'll have to see how far he can get, I guess.
I'd rather see him in there than I would.
On the business side, on the business side, dude, he is smart business-wise, but we don't need that. I can't believe the motherfucker's actually running.
Well, if it comes down to Jeb or Hillary or Trump, I'm going to help Mr. Trump out.
You got that right. I'm right behind you.
He would just run it like his fucking show, dude. He would just run it like the fucking, whatever it's called.
Well, don't get me wrong. Every one of them is good for us.
I wouldn't trust him. I don't trust him.
How many of these you think of these so-called preppers out there are going to turn into marauders when the shit hits the fan?
We talked about this earlier.
Too many.
Exactly.
Like Swear said last night, make sure your angles are covered, man.
That's just the thing. You gotta have friends to cover sectors of fire. Nobody's gonna do this alone. You're gonna need community. First signs of shit hit the fan, people need to get outside and fucking start meeting their neighbor immediately. They should be doing it already.
You should be. I was about to say that. You should know that already.
Well, it's just like when the power gets knocked out when in your local community or something. Everybody goes outside to see what's going on, kind of look around a little bit.
No, they think Russia invaded us. No, they think Russia fucking invaded us. You go to the grocery store, everything is fucking sold out. People are fucking calling the hotels. They can't survive with no power. 3 days, 2 days, people go fucking nuts. Yep. They can't use their iPads. They can't use their iPhones. The little teeny poppers can't get on Facebook. It's fucking world ending when they can't get on Facebook.
Yeah.
That social engineering at work.
And be prepared to fucking lose it all. Be prepared.
Oh, I've already decided. The first thing will go will be the cell phones in the house as soon as I get wind.
Well, remember, man, we're supposed to be the good guys, so we need to act like it.
People are not going to know what the fuck to do. They're not going to know what to do.
It's a good point, Smurf. I've already made the decision. I won't make any unmoral act happen or help it along. I will try to act as moral as I can. The people that talk about not letting their neighbor in or their cousin because they disagree with them, but if they're really beating at your door, starving, or running from a mob of other starving people, and you don't let them in, then you're just as bad as them.
You gotta do the best you can to help as many people as you can, because the biggest thing is we need to grow in numbers.
Yep.
If we just go hunker down on our own, we're not going to grow at all. They'll just take the people out in the cities first, and then they'll come for us.
Another thing that I've kind of been thinking about a lot too is, and I don't even like to admit this myself, but all of us that get up here and are willing to be public with our opinions and talk about this shit, we are the leaders. I'll just point that out. You're the leaders of your community. You're the type of people that will have the knowledge and the information of what's going on, because everybody else has been watching sports, get drunk all fucking week and month and year, and don't have a fucking clue.
I gotta agree with that. Absolutely, I gotta agree with that.
And I'll be the first one to say that I'm not the leader type. People annoy the fuck out of me. I'd assume be left alone, and with my hobbies and my devices, and entertain a bunch of fools, but. You got to do what you got to do.
I think we'll be more apt. There are definitely leaders on here, but somebody like me, man, I'm going to be more of an intel kind of guy, I think. The information that we're talking about on here, there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of good information, but there's stuff talked about here that's not talked about anywhere else. These conversations aren't even had. We're having them here. We're actually working through this stuff. When the time comes, we're all spread out all across the country. It puts us in positions where we can have a real effect. These chats are super important just for the information clearinghouse that it provides, period.
Yep.
Going back with what Quasar said there, I got to agree with that. For example, each and every one of us. Like all my neighbors who don't know what's going on. If anything comes down, I gotta say that I think I'm way ahead of the game on them because they had no idea.
So when the shit does hit the fan, Peanut, you're not running around fucking confused, lost, fucking running around with your head chopped. You know what I mean? You gotta have all this shit all planned, man. You got to.
Yeah. Well,
you gotta have your bags gotta be packed, bags gotta be filled, clothes, your food, your water supply, everything has to be fucking.
Well, if anything was to come down and happen, I do have a plan, and I do have a place to go to. That's the main thing.
Like I said, something has to happen. Like Doug's and I were talking earlier, we all were talking. Something bad has to happen.
Right.
In order for people to fucking wake the fuck up. And that's what's sad. It's sad that the people make fun of the preppers. And they don't think nothing's going to happen. And they think everything is going to be okay.
Well, we're more than preppers at this point, man. We're the intellectuals of, and you know, some of us more than others. We're the intellectuals of the movement, and that, like Smurf said, we're the ones actually sitting here and talking about this shit openly. We're doing exactly what the founding fathers used to do, no pun intended, in the Green Dragon Tavern. You know, and that wasn't just in where was the Green Tavern in Boston, Virginia? I'm not sure. But you know, this was going on in all the taverns. You know, in 1774, it was going on in all the taverns. You know, and the only reason they knew about it and were able to get behind the same idea was because of the printing press. What do we have? We have the internet, which is infinitely more powerful, and that's what screwed them. I believe, in my opinion, it's screwed the elite or the powers that be because they don't know quite how to deal with humanity, which by their own words they admit is now looking at them and know who's done what. We know what's gone on. People like us know, you know, the intellectuals, the people with moral fortitude and a heart, you know, just a human fucking heart, know what's going on, know who is at fault. So, like everyone, I see it everywhere now. Like everyone keeps saying, "What are we gonna do about it?" You know, and you can see how it's shifted in the Patriot movement.
That's the whole thing about it, man. Is everything is changing, man. I think we're in a lot better position than we've ever been before. I honestly believe that.
I agree too, Smurf. And at the same time, we're at the most dangerous position we've ever been.
That's right, man. That's right. These guys have put way too much time, way too much money, way too much effort to just walk away.
Oh, yeah.
So it can come in all kinds of forms and all kinds of ways. That's why I'd say, you know, watch for that left field shit. That's where it's going to come from.
I think the only thing we got on our side is that these fuckers that are actually in power now aren't the people that had this idea originally. These are fucking grandchildren and grandchildren, you know, of generations after the fact of the people that actually created these fucking ideas of world government and taking over and making a conscious choice to kill and murder their fellow humans on this planet so they can merge with technology. As crazy as that sounds, that is what they write about and talk about. I was going to go somewhere with that, but I forgot. Sorry.
Well, they're putting millions of dollars. They're pouring millions of dollars into it, or billions of dollars.
Yeah, for a long time. That's the thing. Wow. For a long time. I mean, they were doing their first social engineering experiments in the 1880s. That's as far back as I've found. That's like open modern science that they openly were bragging about. Oh, well, we discovered this about humans and social engineering, yada yada yada.
Yeah, they had a thing called manufactured consent that they kind of studied back in the 1880s, and that's where it all starts, where they lead you to believe that, you know, you're consenting to something even though you're not consciously doing it.
Yes, sir. That's fucking awesome. Who put that up?
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I don't know what that is, but I like it.
Well, James did.
It's a Millennium Falcon. I guess they're going rebel. Yeah, when I was coming back from the fight party, I saw a pickup truck driving through town that had the rebel battle flag with the white French on it, and I honked at him as they went by.
You're the Millennium Lee, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Can it jump ditches like the General Lee did, though?
It warps through space from solar system to solar system. I don't know.
And fly over ditches.
I want to see Daisy come out of that day.
There you go.
See her in warp drive.
One thing that's kind of cool too about all the shit that's going on with the revelations in spying and internet and all that is that there's actually, you know, internet entrepreneurs trying to create and very smart people actually trying to create an internet too that's actually encrypted, so you'll be able to log on to it just like the old internet and not have to worry about who's up your ass about you doing what with the free exchange of information. Was it Kim.com? I think that's the guy headlining that.
Could be. The stuff I've heard about internet too that the government's trying to push is actually biometric sign-ons.
Yeah, that's different than what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sure. That's the thing that I think we're going to get to the general population is that by internet sign-ons that'll be done through your phone company.
No, that's what they write about. That's what they talk about.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there'll definitely be a dark net out there. There's always been one. There always will be one.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to shut down the techies, the nerds, the engineers that created these systems. Way smarter men than me in those fields.
No, just don't underestimate ham radio and CBs and other types of communication that don't rely on the network where they can shut you off.
That's why I kind of laugh at all the patriots scared of the drones, because the fact of the matter is they're hackable. Not only are they hackable with anybody with the right equipment and the know-how, but you can hide from them. I mean, there's even people that we've shared in the Google groups. I mean, there's people selling camouflage kits that completely hide you from thermal imagery and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, basically about everything they're putting out here, somebody's coming up with something else to counter it.
Yep. Equate it to the guards trying to stop prisoners from doing what they're gonna do. It doesn't fucking happen. They do what they want to do in those fucking jails and prisons. They find ways.
Well, if they're anything like the ones here, they're corrupt as hell too. And the reason why I say it, I was taking his brother-in-law over here to the Pikeville jail. His brother was in jail, and he was open carrying a big bag of tobacco, taking it and giving it to the jailer, and giving him a little bit of money. And the guy was making a damn killing inside the jail selling cigarettes.
Did you guys see the video of the news reporter? And then she's giving a little report outside of prison, and then the guy walks up with a paper bag and walks over to the jail, and a rope comes over the prison wall and hooks the bag up and takes it over the wall. Oh God, I gotta find that. It's fucking hilarious.
That shit's fucking hilarious, dude.
I heard about that. That's as bad as John McCain standing at the border and somebody jumps over the fence and runs in.
Yeah.
Or him fucking getting his picture taken with known terrorists.
Yeah, there's probably more of that shit going on where people are using drones to fly contraband over the prison walls. They just don't want you to hear about it.
Yep.
Well, I can even share a story on that right there. The same guy I was talking about, $100. Just call in and put the money in the account. $100 for a Suboxone for a guy in jail that was sick, and hell, they was making a killing off that.
Yeah, would that be something if somebody had hacked the credit accounts for all the prisoners and give them all a whole shitload of money?
Yeah.
Hey, it's party time.
Yeah, I can actually vouch for it because I called in and put $100 in the account, and the boy got a Suboxone. Actually, it was a half a Suboxone. It's $200 for a whole Suboxone.
Can y'all see that?
Yep.
Yeah, the lady's sitting here. She's giving her little news report and stuff. See this guy over here with the bag? He's just chilling across from the big old prison. Oh, I'm gonna go over here and walk over here. La-di-da, la-di-da. Then see, he walks over here, climbs up the stairs right here.
I'll be damned.
Watch, you'll see, it gets better. Oh, there he is right there. Watch, there goes the bag!
Here he comes.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Now, if you don't think that was a guard helping that or doing that, then yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the fucking guards are doing that shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this happened a couple months ago. Shit's funny as fuck.
Right on national TV. That's fucking great.
And she was actually reporting on this?
She was oblivious to what was going on.
Yeah. Camera guy's probably like, look at this shit.
I don't think they noticed it till afterwards, actually.
Well, now, wait a minute. Watch your eyes right there. Go back, if you don't care, go back that right there. One part of it, it looked like she rose her eyes over her shoulder like somebody said, hey, 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 you know.
Oh, there at the end?
Yeah, watch this right here. Let's see.
Yeah, you probably realized it right at the end.
Yeah, see her eyes, how her eyes went over the side like that?
Once you seen the case go up over the wall, he's like, holy shit.
Yeah. How do drugs get into the prisons? Why are the prisoners dying and coming out with drug addictions, I wonder?
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
I mean, bottom line, it's just a corrupt system.
Yeah, that's it. It just shows the joke and hypocrisy of the prison system and the whole system in general. Justice. It's just us, and it's them, just their club.
Yeah, they get the just us, we get shafted.
Exactly.
I'm about fed up with that shit.
It's all just a big shit sandwich that's been prepared for us.
Sat there and watched them make it, too.
Yep, for 40, 50 years they've been making that shit sandwich. They've been putting a lot of effort in this shit sandwich. They're getting ready to feed us also.
That's big money. All that's big money. A lot of dollars changing hands.
I don't know what you guys think of it. I'm gonna throw this out here. I want to just hear what y'all's opinion is on this about. Let me get this right. I want to say this right about the project Bluebeam. Do you think that'll come in play on any of this?
I just see there is a video where some scientific group actually managed to project a fucking hologram onto clouds. I watched that recently. It wasn't really talking about Bluebeam though.
Yeah, Bluebeam's been actually tracked for a few years, man. It works in conjunction with the Gwyn towers and the Doppler radars and all the rest of it. It's basically your high fidelity fucking visual system. And anybody who thinks, oh, well, they wouldn't make that, let me tell you something. If you got 4 helicopters and you want to make the enemy think you got 20, Bluebeam is the tool for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I ain't been mistaken, wasn't he, at one time, didn't the military actually fought about doing the, damn, let me get this right. Damn, I can't, let me get this shit right.
The hologram over Cuba, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they was going to do a hologram of the prophet or something there, maybe in Iraq or Kuwait or Afghanistan or somewhere. Did y'all see any of that?
Well, no, I don't think I saw that, but I did hear a story. There was a guy, he was on CNN, and they were interviewing him, and he's one of the interrogators for the Iraqis. And he was interrogating a dude, and basically they waterboarded him for like 15 seconds. They didn't really ask him any questions, and they put him in a room, left him there overnight. The next morning when they showed up, the guy was willing to talk to him. He said that during the night, Muhammad had come to him and told him to cooperate.
That's who I was wanting to say, Muhammad. That's what they were.
Okay.
What I say.
There's another story that one of the generals in Operation Northwoods wanted to broadcast the image of the Virgin Mary over Cuba and create religious fervor in Cuba to help overthrow the communist government there. Now, there is a factual case of somebody trying to do something like that in World War I. That's how far back this shit goes. They wanted to take a movie projector and project it on gas that they'd set out there. They tried to project, I think it was like the Virgin Mary or something, to try to get the enemy to surrender. This stuff has been tried. This is, huh?
That's documentary facts on that.
If you look it up, I'm sure you'll find World War I holograms on the front line, and that's probably going to find it for you. Let me see if I can get you a link for it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
This stuff is actual old history, man.
Well, you know, like I was saying there earlier, like Project Operation Popeye.
I can't spell tonight.
Well, fuck, by now they've been chemtrailing us for 30 years. I'm 34, and I can remember at some point when I was around 10 or 11 that I started seeing them. You know, so before that they weren't doing it, but...
I'm 55. I know when I was growing up, I never seen nothing like I see now. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even me, I'm 44, and it wasn't like that. The contrails used to dissipate when I was a kid. They didn't just form new fucking cloud fucking walls.
Or linger for hours and hours.
Yep.
I know. I wish I had my camera with me. I was on my mom's porch here. It was earlier in the year, where it's like a big valley out here where I live at, and just one day, 16 planes. I counted them all. 16 come across this ridge and come across the valley, and they stopped spraying. Every one of them stopped spraying almost exactly the same spot. And within hours, this whole place was covered. I mean, no sun, no blue sky. And I was showing my mom that, and that blows her mind. You know, I always tell anybody I'm around, I can't help, getting on, subjects of this. And when I showed this to her, like I said, it just blew her mind. Now she believes the stuff I tell her because she's seen it with her own eyes. Because I was telling her, "Watch here," and then not only did they go, it's like he'd done a checker or a checkerboard. He come down the hall.
But see, it's not just that. It's not just the chemtrails, the aluminum and the whatever else it is, all the other shit that's in it.
Right.
It's also the shit they're putting in the food, in the water, in the plastics, the BPA, the GMOs. This is a full frontal assault on really the only icon of freedom left in the world, and that is the American middle class.
Hey, don't forget the X-rays. Get me an X-ray everywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean, well, fuck, Fukushima's dosing us right now, but nobody wants to talk about it. They've seen large increases in radiation in Alaska and the seals and the fish. Here in the University of St. Louis fucking recorded Fukushima radiations. They found cesium atoms. So I mean, it's going on.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. Nobody won't seem like they want to talk about it, but and in fact, in second, they're still dumping shit every day over there.
A big scandal that happened here in St. Louis, right outside here in the county, is the fact that Monsanto and an actual sub company of Monsanto, which is Mellencrot, and they produced most of the radiation or the uranium or the enriched uranium, I guess you should say, here in St. Louis for the atomic bombs, or at least one of them, the first ones. Well, the byproduct for all that shit was stored at a dump here, and it came out recently because it actually got leaked with groundwater. That shit's been leaking out for fucking 30 years, 40 years, getting into the Missouri River, then which flows right into the Mississippi and goes right out.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. I found it. I knew I'd find it.
But that shit's going on all over the country. Is my reason bringing that up. Is you got the nuclear power plants that are literally not safe. You got all the unsafe disposal of the radioactive material from everything from medicines to warfare. They got the core exit that was sprayed. The amounts of core exit that were sprayed in the Gulf of Mexico for the BP oil spill is ridiculous. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have looked into that, but it's probably ruined the Gulf. I won't eat shrimp no more personally, and I love shrimp.
That actually ruined the Gulf Stream.
Yes, it did, JJ. Not to mention, they're seeing genetic effects in all the fish and shrimp and all that shit, and they don't think it was from the oil. They like to say it was, but it was the core exit.
Oil's natural.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all the chemicals that they fucking put in.
Which also, instead of just letting the oil dissipate naturally, which they should have done, they fucking sprayed it with that shit, which actually dropped it into the bottom layer of the ocean currents, which spread it throughout the oceans more efficiently.
Yep, roll around for fucking ever instead of actually seeping back into the earth.
I'll have to look a little bit harder, Monty. This is an actual forum where they discuss it, but this is actually something I read in a history book. I got a book called The Secrets of World War I and World War II, and it's in that book. And the British talked about it, and the Germans actually tried it. They couldn't sell it, but the idea is solid.
Right.
They actually tried for that. So that shows that clear back to World War I, they were already thinking about this. Think about the technology they have now. You can go to frickin' concerts with dead rappers, and it looks like he's there.
Absolutely.
The way to do it would be to get a hold of all the patents that were passed pre-World War I, and that they make it. There's a reason they make that shit hard to get a hold of. If you could go back in those patent books and find out, if there's anything that is related to that type of a device, you could probably find it.
Well, it's just basically a movie projector. That was the idea, to take a movie projector and project an image on white smoke above the trenches of the Virgin Mary. That was the whole of the plan. The point is, though, is that somebody thought of that in World War I.
Yeah.
So think about it. Now we have technology that can do amazing shit. I mean, seriously, amazing shit. But ask yourself, what were those big horn sounds we heard a couple of years ago? Was that firing up the sound system for Bluebeam?
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, let's be real about this stuff, man. People heard horns. It was audible on audio recording devices.
Yeah.
There's videos of it.
Yeah, I've watched a ton of videos on it in all kinds of different countries, all over.
What if that's the sound system for this? You'd have to be able to sell it with sound, man. You couldn't just have a silent image. That's not gonna fly. People are gonna figure that out. But if you have loud booms and loud noises, people are going to be scared. People panic. I got a stereo that fucking jams, man. And when my wife's kids first moved out here with me, that thing scared them because it was so loud. They had a fear reaction because of the volume of the sound. Now think about it. What's the first thing everybody does around an explosion? Duck and cover, man. Cover your ears. It's louder than shit.
You're right.
So.
Cool.
That's what I was saying earlier. People got to really keep an open mind. I mean, really, that's my opinion of the shit that can, happen, like this right here. And you're right, when I seen that videos on that sound, I could just imagine if it happened here, damn, I'd be ducking, I'd put a word in that shit or what,
Something else in the conspiracy world that I kind of think about a lot nowadays is the fact that the government, through not really admission, but through like FOIA request and all that, it's been pretty much proven they have super soldier projects. They're getting ready to release some super soldiers, I feel. And that's going to change the whole dynamic of everything that's going on. Probably, special warfare, reasons or whatever, but they could be used against the Patriot movement also.
Well, I don't know how much y'all kept up with all the robotics, the stuff that they're doing.
Oh, yeah, that's coming.
Absolutely, and that's some wicked shit they're coming up with.
Hey, G's saying that he wants to shut it down for the night and go private.
Yeah, he's gotta go to bed, and once he signs off, it'll quit going live. So I'm gonna say good night to everybody now, and hope you have a good night. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Man.
Thanks for coming out.
No
Yeah,
outros for me. Shut it down.
live free.
Live free.
Absolutely.
Are we still live?
Yeah, you gonna shut it down?
Yeah, G.
No.
If anything happens here to lose you guys, whatever, I want to tell you, it's been great hanging out with
Yep, good chats. Good chat.
you. Absolutely.
What the hell? Hit the button.
Aw, damn it.
Shut her down, Tony.
G just dropped out.
You got that in.
That fucking internet is shit.
Yeah, go ahead and shut the live chat down, Tony.
I'm not in as a dragon.
Okay. So I guess when G left, it should go off here at some point.
Yeah, it'll shut off. I was trying to get in as a dragon, but it's just being more of a headache. That's work.
Fucking technology.
He's running like super slow.
I caught your video just the other day, Tony, about where you showing where it rains. So y'all are getting some rain down there now.
Yeah. You see the helicopter video?
Yeah, I'd love to send some of this we've been getting here down your way, man.
Yeah. Oh, we've been getting plenty of rain out here. They were saying we're not. But if you look at the helicopter video, one of the last ones I uploaded, when you look at the helicopters taxiing on the runway at this civilian airport,
right?
Check the video out. Like you could see like a white van pull up next to the blacked out windows pull up next to the
I got one question. What would you do if a guy like that got on the train with you?
What? What?
It's a Mexican Kris Jenner.
I believe I would move down a couple seats away from him.
Yeah, I would be very aware.
I wouldn't be pulling out no dollar bills. That video you was talking about, Tony, is that one of the last ones you uploaded, man?
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
So how long does this thing stay live?
It's still live. I just looked. I'm going to give a Saints and Sappers tip of the week. Are you ready?
There you go.
When you get up in the morning, put a new chamber a new round. If you're out on the lamb, when you wake up in the morning, take a chamber a brand new round in case a round that's in the chamber gets oil fouled or weather fouled.
Yeah, it gets stuck or whatever. Just make sure you got it fresh one in the pipe.
And that's the tip of the week, fellas.
There you go.
Good shit, man.
That's a good one.
Don't take wooden nickels.
Guys, I'm going to jump out. I got some other stuff here I'm going to look at. Like I said, it's been great hanging out with you. Love listening to you. I learn an awful lot, and I really do appreciate it.
Have a good night, man.
Have a good one, bro.
Later, guys. Tony, take care, man.
Good talking to you.
You too.
Here, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can close this down. I'm gonna stay on. I got beer left.
Yeah, I figure I'll try to do a tip of the week from back in the old days. Some of them are still good. Some of them are a little lame, but hell, it's something to think about.
Definitely good advice.
Hey, there's something I wanted to ask you about too, Tony. You know, you were talking about the 2 safety pins that come with a bandolier.
Who's that? Tony left.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to. I think he's trying to come back in as the dragon so he can actually shut this thing down.
Okay. Yeah, it's still showing live.
Did you guys, any of you guys catch that A-Rec